What's up, what's up, what's up, people? It's your girl, the Grownwomangamer, and today I'm coming back with a new segment that I may be doing on a daily basis. I'm going to do my best, so it's not going to be very long. A girl got a job, so this is fun for me for now. Hopefully my channel grows to the point where it becomes much more than that, but I'm going to jump in pretty quick every day and let you guys know who I think is going to win the following day's games. If you didn't know, the NBA season starts tomorrow, July the 30th, with two excellent lineups. At 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have the Utah Jazz taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. And at 9 p.m. Eastern, the game everybody, including me, is looking forward to, the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Los Angeles Lakers. So I'm going to start with the first game, the Jazz versus the Pelicans. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm not just going to tell you what my predictions are. I'm also going to tell you what my internal process is for coming to these conclusions. And I'm also just going to put out the disclaimer, and I'll do this pretty regularly. I'm a very passionate fan of basketball, but I am by no means an expert. This is just my opinion. In any given game, you can always be proven wrong. You could even have the worst team playing the best team, and all of a sudden something magical happens and that team overcomes what seems to be insurmountable obstacles. So I'm going to start with the Jazz and the Pelicans. With the Jazz, obviously, they have their strongest player. In my opinion, that's Donovan Mitchell. He's their greatest offensive weapon when he's doing well. He's fast, he's strong, he's pretty smart, and he is unshakable in situations that many players his age would kind of be frazzled under. I remember watching him play in that series against OKC, and he showed out. I think he was only a rookie at that point. I mean, he did an amazing job, so much so until he was really my pick that year for Rookie of the Year. He was fantastic. And this was pretty early on. I think it was either year 1 or 2 of his career. And I love watching him play. I have great respect for the dedication he clearly has for the game. He takes it very seriously, and on and off the court, he's great. Rudy Gobert, who was in the news because he was one of the first, I think he was the first player who we were aware of that had contracted the coronavirus, and the way that we found out was kind of silly and immature when he was filling up the microphones and stuff like that, but that's old news now. He's good to go. Obviously, he's going to be a force on the defensive side. He has won Defensive Player of the Year, and he just cares a lot about the game, and you could tell, again, he's another dedicated player who shows up, especially on the defensive end, and he's going to give them a great deal on in terms of rebounding offensively and defensively. And this is just a quick note. I think Rudy Gobert is going to give more offensively than people expect from him. If you've watched some of the latest scrimmages, he's been putting up some decent numbers, and clearly there's a bug in his ear that if they are going to win, particularly in the West, he's going to need to give more offensively, and you see that. And then you have Mike Conley, who in my opinion is kind of an X factor. Mike Conley is a great future Hall of Fame point guard, but lately his performance has been a little less than consistent. So I think that if he performs on a very high level, the Utah Jazz will be contenders. They are certainly not my pick to go all the way, but they're not going to be a team that can be rolled over. They have a pretty stacked bench as well with Jordan Clarkson. I might not be pronouncing his name right, but George Niang, Emmanuel Mudiay, they're all great players as well who can come off the bench and give points or give some good defensive minutes. And then you have Royce O'Neal and Old Man Joe. I call him Old Man Joe because he's probably not that old, but he just looked like somebody's daddy. The man can shoot the lights out the gym, and he also is fearless. So he's not intimidated. It doesn't matter if it's LeBron, Kawhi, James Harden. He comes to play, and he is a scoring machine when he's on. So they're a solid unit going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. So here's the deal with the Pelicans. the Pelicans are hit or miss. I mean, they're a young team. They play with a lot of spunk. They're so fun to watch, but the basketball experience is not really there. So it's can be easy to pick them apart because they don't necessarily see it coming. And that's what I've seen when they go up against certain types of teams. Mike Conley is an extremely smart basketball player. So is Joe Ingles. They have some more veteran leadership, more senior leadership on that team. Drew Holiday does bring that, and hats off to him. He's a basketball player I really respect, again, on and off the court. But in the regular season, Drew Holiday's play has not been as stellar as previous years. So he, to me, is like Mike Conley is the X factor for the New Orleans Pelicans. If he comes out in his vintage Drew Holiday, if you can even say that, he's kind of a young player. But if he brings me Drew Holiday from previous years, from the Anthony Davis New Orleans Pelicans years, then I would feel very confident in saying that they would match up really well against the Jazz. But I think his play is going to matter a lot. Brandon Ingram's patience and being more intentional in the decisions he makes on the court. Brandon Ingram can sometimes be like a freight train offensively. He doesn't always look like he's thinking everything through as well as you would like him to, and so he turns the ball over a lot. Sometimes he shoots when he probably should be passing. He'll take high percentage shots that brick. So I would like to see him do extremely well offensively and have a good high PER and not turn the ball over as much, make great decisions, defer when it's a more ideal shot for someone else. And of course, we can't leave out Zion Williamson. To me, Zion Williamson is not an X factor, but he's kind of an unknown. And by that, I mean that I have not seen him play over time consistently enough to feel confident of what he's going to do when he gets out on the floor. We know the man can dunk. He can play defense. He can block shots. I know he can do these things, but I have not, and because he's a rookie, just to be fair to him, I haven't seen him do certain things consistently over time, game in and game out and game in and game out. But I know that if he does play, he's going to make some level of an impact, and he's going to come with a level of intensity and athleticism that is only paralleled by certain players like Giannis in the NBA. So looking at their bench, which is a little bit deeper, they have Jahlil Okafor, who can give good minutes, J.J. Redick, who we know is one of the best shooters to ever touch the rock, Etuan Moore, who's another good shooter and is a great backup swing guard, Josh Hart, who's playing small forward, which I don't quite understand, but he can also shoot, and he's very, very smart and kind of an intense defensive player, and Nicolo Melli. They have some great weapons, Jackson Hayes. Their bench is nice and deep. And that is going to be something that people have to contend with. They have young legs and a deep bench, and they can really run because Lonzo Ball, that offense, he thrives in like a fast-paced offensive set, and he can obviously, that's one of his best attributes, that he can pass the ball, and his shot has developed. He's gotten a lot stronger. All in all, between these two teams, my gut tells me to take the Utah Jazz, but I think the Pelicans are so desperate to get that 8th spot, I'm going to give it to them against my better judgment. So I'm for the first game for the Jazz and the Pelicans, I'm picking the New Orleans Pelicans. So for the second game, this one is going to be a lot easier. Obviously, LeBron tomorrow with my picks for the following day. Shout out to you guys. Take care, y'all. Peace.